In 1972, the Bob Newhart Show premiered on CBS. But today and right now, we're going to talk about Farmer's Almanac.
No dreaming here, folks. All
No
reality
dreaming
right here. We want to introduce a very special guest, Tim Clark, editor of the Farmer's Almanac. We do have the 2016 version here in front of us, and we want to talk about what we can expect if we're picking up this latest edition of the Farmer's Almanac.
Well, as with every year since 1792, we predict the weather. But we also do a lot of what we call our 100% accurate predictions, which are when's the sun going to rise, when's the moon going to rise, where will the stars and planets be doing. That's what an almanac really is, and it goes back thousands of years. It comes from an Arabic word that means a calendar of the heavens. So that the center, the core, the heart of the almanac is what's happening in the sky.
You know, the quote on the front really sums it up. Useful with a pleasant degree of humor. There really is. It's a great read. Front to back, you're going to learn stuff that you weren't expecting to learn. There's a whole bunch of different stuff in here.
And you learn it every day of the year. That's the reason for the hole in the corner. You know, the old joke is hang it in the outhouse. Well, hang it wherever you want. But the point is, it's not a read and throw away publication. It has something specific and new to tell you about every single day of 2006.
For instance,
you know, I use it. I look at it at the beginning of the month. I look at it in the morning to look at sunrise, sunset, day length, where the planets are. It's really, really handy. There's great gardening stuff in here.
Yeah, you know, only 2% of us now work in agriculture. It's different here, I'm sure, but it's nationwide. So gardening has kind of taken over the role of agriculture, at least editorially for us. There are 43 million households with home gardens now. That's a whole lot of people.
So
I'll bet you that number is going up.
I'll bet it is.
I was looking at the website. Today is the 259th day of 2015, and the tip for today, if you go to the website for this, is to clean aluminum, rub it with lemon and salt, and then rinse. See, I didn't know that. I'd learned it from the Almanac.
Now, this has been around, obviously, like you said, since
1792.
Which is absolutely incredible.
The President of the United States was one George Washington, a farmer from Virginia.
Oh, my God.
Heard of him, heard of him.
Obviously, things have to evolve and change. What has been the big change that's happened with the Farmer's Almanac? Or are we dealing with stuff that we did back in the 1700s?
Well, you know, we have copies of those first almanacs, and we're proud of the fact that the center of the almanac, the calendar pages that have the astronomical information on one side, the historical information on the other side, are virtually identical. If you looked at set it by side, you'd say, okay, that's the same publication. But you have to change 224 years. And when you've got the name, the old Farmer's Almanac, you better pay attention to some new stuff, too. So up in the beginning of each almanac in recent years, we've looked at trends and what's happening coming in the future. We can't just stay old. We can't stay doing the same thing, even though I think the secret of our success is that over more than 2 centuries, we are reliably doing the same thing.
Wow.
And, you know, again, as someone who forecasts the weather out 7 days, to do it for a season is gutsy, to say the least. It's maybe a little bit easier this year because we have such a powerful El Nino, or a warming of the Eastern Pacific. It tends to give the upper Midwest a warmer winter. But you do go out into the next year.
Yes, indeed,
with
14 or 16 months when you really add up when we printed it and so forth. And we're keeping our fingers crossed because that El Nino, which is looking so powerful now, was not looking powerful when we did our forecast.
Ah, right.
So our forecaster says, you know what, I'm going to trust the method that we've been using for 224 years. And that is to look at the solar cycle. Some people know it as the sunspot cycle. And it's been you know, blamed for everything from wheat prices to the length of women's hemlines, you know, and it's a lot of people have stopped believing in that stuff, if they ever believed in it at all. We still do, and I think we've got the record to show for it.
What's your favorite part of this? Obviously, the roots of it being with predicting weather and things like that are what it's based on, but what's your favorite thing to pick up and the page you want to turn to check things out?
Well, it says useful with a pleasant degree of humor, and I'm sort of inclined to the humor side. I'm sort of the editor of wacky.
Editor of wacky, I like that.
I studied folklore and mythology at Harvard University about 1,000 years ago, and so I do the folklore stories. So, for example, in this issue, it's a long piece about the superstition and folklore around shoes.
Right here. I was just looking at it. Superstitions.
Superstitions.
Really?
Superstitions, which I think is hysterical.
And what I like about it is that although we think of it as that old-timey stuff, it's still going on. I'm sure you've all been in a city and seen shoes tied together and flung over a telephone
Yes.
or wire.
Yeah.
What's going on there? No one knows for sure. You find a lot of different arguments. One was that, this is a gang sign, a murder took place here,
Right.
or drugs are available here. No one's ever been able to prove that. And when you think about it, why would they advertise the location of
Right. It makes sense.
So that's something's happening there that is important.
It's Tim Clark, who always puts on his left shoe first.
That's right.
Has been writing about folklore for the Almanac for more than 30 years. This is fascinating. All kinds of stuff.
So
here
where do
about.
we find these anymore? I know we have some here on our desk, but if people wanted to pick this up, check it out. And
Barnes & Noble has it.
Okay.
Many bookstores carry it, and always in the reference section, which I think is important. Also, just about any big supermarket or gardening place, any place that you'll find a magazine rack usually has the Old Farmer's Almanac. If you can't find them there, you can go to almanac.com and we'll tell you anything you need to know about getting one. It's not a subscription publication. You buy it new every year.
Every year.
And speaking of almanac.com, this being 2015, it's not just about putting this out once a year and maybe taking a vacation. You guys are on social media and you put out useful information every day.
You have to be these days.
All right, so I believe we have some graphics we are going to take a peek at. Let us know what we're seeing here.
Okay, that's what we look at for the winter of 2015-16. You guys are right on the line between mild and snowy and normal temperatures and dry. So
What does that mean?
Well, we normally get 36 or so inches of snow in Des Moines in a season. So, that's what that would mean over the course of a winter, and then normal temperatures would just be normal high temperatures.
yeah,
right?
and what's surprising to me after the places I've been going in the east is I'm telling you, you're going to have a winter pretty much like most of your winters. Whereas in the east, it's much colder weather that we're predicting.
And it has been,
boy.
that has been the rule.
100 inches in Boston, last year, and I live only about 90 miles from Boston, so
I
I
think
did a
there
lot
was
of shoveling.
still a pile of snow in July. It was either
Yep.
late June or July in
Oh, it was a
Boston.
big event in media. All the stations were there with cameras watching the last ounce of snow.
Really? Well, let's talk about what we can look forward to next year for summer.
Next year, not such good news for
Oh.
you. It's going to be hot. It's going to be dry. We indicate that drought could be a concern, and as I look at the monthly averages, it looks to me like it's below average precipitation predicted from March right through October. That sounds like drought to me.
Ooh, not good for our farmers if that's the case. So some ideas of what you can experience if you're picking up the Old Farmer's Almanac. As you said, lots of great things you can learn, but also
man.
some witty humor in there as
We hope
well.
it's witty humor.
A lot of good information.
It is. Recipes, like you said, gardening, just some facts you never would have thought to check out.
Oh, I wanted to bear with me just a second. This, and I think it's today, Friday, and Saturday. You guys have what's called Ember Days that I think you taught me about last year or last time you were here. So today, this Friday, and this Saturday are supposed to be indicative of the weather for October, November, and December.
That's
so
right.
that would indicate that October would be warmer than average and
It's
dry.
October, yeah.
November would be rainy
Yeah,
because
stormy.
Friday looks to be rainy,
Yeah.
and December would be pretty normal and nice.
And that's pretty much what we are predicting, although that's not how we came up with the prediction.
Oh, really? But that's about right.
Wow.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. Another great things you can learn. Pick up the Old Farmer's Almanac. We're talking the 2016 edition. Thank you so much for joining us
It's always
once
a pleasure
again
to
this
be in Des
morning.
Moines.
There you go. It's a great day as we're checking this out. When we come back, Corey Taylor from Slipknot is going to be joining us on set talking about another book you might want to check out as well. We'll be right back on